In an ever-evolving digital landscape, for your business to thrive, you must adapt or die. Welcome to Marketing in the Age of AI, the podcast helping you harness the power of AI and marketing tools to revitalize and grow your business. And now here's your host, marketing expert and author of Authentic Marketing in the Age of AI, Emanuel Rose.
Well, welcome to another episode of Marketing in the Age of AI. I'm excited to dig in today and look at some tools and processes that we can all use when working on marketing projects and getting good output from the AI tools. So Laura Kamrath is my guest today, and welcome to the show, Laura.
Thanks. Hi, Emanuel. Thanks for having me on.
You betcha. And why don't you give us a 30-second introduction about how you got to this spot in the marketing world?
Yeah, so I have a business called Zebra Marketing, Smarter Marketing, Wild Results. And I'm actually a degree geologist. I came out of the oil and gas industry. I started offshore working on oil rigs when I was out of my undergrad college, and then I went on to a 12-year career in oil and gas, majored in geology, did an MBA at Rice University, and we had a big oil and gas downturn in 2015. Big layoffs across the industry, and unfortunately, I was one of them. And I said, well, what do I really want to do with my life? And I was like, well, the thing that I enjoyed the most was I had done this big marketing overhaul for a company called Enrich. They were like a small geoscience think tank in the oil industry. And it took them from a company nobody had ever heard of, just a referral based company, to everybody knew who they were. And that was really exciting. It was a lot of fun, the most fun I ever had in my work life. And I wanted to do more of that, so I started my marketing business.
Nice.
Yeah, so fast forward to post COVID times. Oil industry took a big hit during COVID, and so I've reconfigured my business. I've built a whole entire mastermind program for IT service providers and cybersecurity businesses, technology companies, that helps them implement an entire end-to-end marketing system with AI and automation to get it all done faster and more effectively.
That sounds amazing. Well, let's dig in a little bit on which of the generative copywriting tools do you prefer to use right now?
Well, part of my AI system that I've created for, IT businesses, but, really any companies that I work with, uh, I run that in ChatGPT. Uh, I start with creating an AI ghostwriter for the client. And so basically, you train a ghostwriter with all of your background, company info, everything about your company. You can upload documents. You can give it tell it a brand voice, tell it how to respond, and then you can use that to produce all of your marketing frameworks. And I start with that, and then I go on to actually producing uh, marketing content like social media posts, emails, blog posts. You can do all of that, especially once you've trained the AI with everything about your company and your business, and what you're, who you're serving and what you're doing for them. Um, so that actually works really well. The other tool I like to use is Jasper. which, I mean, essentially it's like you can probably do the same thing with ChatGPT that you can do with Jasper, but you have to know how to prompt it. So whereas Jasper is basically, it's essentially a lot of these AI tools, it's like they're pre-prompted on the back end.
Right.
So, instead of you having to know what uh, you know, a certain marketing framework is, like, we have these ADA frameworks, and uh if you don't know what that is, then you're going to have trouble prompting it to create one for you. So, from that standpoint, being able to go to a tool like Jasper and say, okay, I want to make a video sales letter. And you just open that, they've got like a formula basically in there. You open the video sales letter VSL framework, whatever template, and it just asks you the questions that it needs to ask you to produce a VSL.
Right.
And it's actually quite good. And if I need to make a VSL, like, I would certainly use Jasper. I like Jasper a lot.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
get you. And what size companies do you typically work with?
Well, I work with anyone from small one person and startup companies to larger businesses who may be doing, like, I don't know, $3 to $10 million annual.
Nice.
Um,
Yeah. So
so
sometimes you're acting as an entire marketing department. Sometimes you're supplementing their team.
yeah, and the mastermind I've built is really probably more for startup businesses or one person companies. People who they need to get all of their marketing systems in place so that they can grow their business.
Right.
But maybe they don't want to pay, a bunch of money for an agency,
Yeah.
and so they want to do some of that work themselves. So this gives them everything they need to really quickly get up to speed with that and have a system in place to be running their marketing.
And what are you seeing is kind of the perception of AI tools right now from small business and marketing departments? What's the mood?
You know, um, it seems to me like a lot of companies are dabbling in it. According to the CMO survey, or Chief Marketing Officer, survey, some 60% of companies have started using AI for marketing in the past year.
Right.
But I think a lot of them are just kind of dabbling in it here and there, like, oh, I used ChatGPT to write an email. Oh my God, this is amazing.
Right.
And, they're really just starting to get into it, but to really dig in and actually incorporate that fully into your marketing program, I think, I don't know how deep a lot of companies are getting into it right now. I've really gotten pretty deep into it myself. So, part of what I do is I want to show my customers how to use it, and what to do with it, because it's great to have a tool that does some really cool thing. But okay, cool. Like, I can chop a long form video into like 15 shorts. Now what do I
Right.
do with that?
All right.
How do
How
I
does
make
how do we turn that into prospects and
Yeah,
eventually
how
into
do you make this
sales?
into
Right.
a strategy and actually use it to get customers, um, and to serve your own the existing customers better as well.
Sure. So let's just say for this conversation, there's 10 pieces to a marketing campaign, right? Starting with a service or product in a target market, and all the steps that it takes then to produce that lead. As you've used chat to be able to, you've prompted chat to be able to produce deliverables for all 10 of those pieces
For all 10 of what pieces,
of
sorry?
a campaign, like just in this theoretical campaign.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you can really do a lot with it. I mean, you can even produce like keyword optimized blog posts.
Uh-huh.
You can produce emails. I think the key is that the key is in the prompting. So you can probably really produce almost anything, but you just have to know how to prompt it correctly.
All
And
right. Well, why don't you break that down for me? What are the three keys to prompting from your perspective, Laura?
yeah, so I think the first key is to tell the chat who it is, like who it needs to behave as.
Okay.
So, for me, that would be like, please act like a marketing consultant with a deep understanding of human psychology and buying behavior or something like that.
Okay. I love it.
Or
Yeah.
or if I'm trying to get it to write content, maybe it's, please act as a marketing copywriter with a deep understanding of uh, direct response copy and human psychology or something.
Yeah.
So, and then the next step is to clearly tell it what you want it to do and for whom and why. And then possibly give it an example. And so, if you can give it an example, like, I can say, please give me a customer avatar framework for IT service providers. And I'm sure it will give me something. But if I want it to look a certain way or answer particular questions, I need to give it those questions. So, when I prompt it, I'll say, please review the following framework and then craft one for my ideal customer and my company and product and service.
Nice.
So, I think that's the key. And, um, there's, they call it like zero shot, one shot, and multi shot is like how many examples you give it.
Right.
So the problem is that I see with ChatGPT is when you give it no examples or you only give it one example, it tends to start to get repetitive sometimes.
Right.
So, like, it might make you like 10 LinkedIn posts, but they'll all follow like the same exact formula. Like,
Right.
they'll all look pretty much the same.
Yep.
So, giving it like multiple examples could be helpful so that you can sort of reduce the amount of like repetitiveness or just in the structure of what it produces.
And are you able to tease that out in the prompt, or do you have to do it just by examples?
Um, you know, I mean, examples definitely helps if you have examples. And it doesn't have to be your own. Like, you could take, if you're trying to produce a LinkedIn post, for example, you could take
Right.
somebody else's LinkedIn post that you really like and say, can you make one of these for me?
Right.
But I think, sometimes I've had some issues with it sometimes, even when you say like, okay, these are a little repetitive, can you please like vary the style a little bit? It just has a hard time doing that.
Yep.
So if it starts doing that, you might have to just give it another example, say, okay, produce some more like this for me now, like.
Right. And then inside it, so the copywriting is one piece of it, and then the image creation or image gathering. How are you managing that?
Well, I mean, I still use stock images
Oh,
occasionally, but now you've got Midjourney. I use Midjourney for image creation. You can produce images with ChatGPT now,
right.
um, and it's quite good. uh, I mean, I think ChatGPT is a little better at text.
Yeah, I
Midjourney
agree.
is terrible with text.
Right.
I don't know if that's improved lately, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think the images are good. Like, we see a lot of like image trash going around social media because it's entertaining, when you ask for an image and it comes out with like somebody has three arms or something.
Right. Which seems to be the specialty right now. Still, is the six fingers and three arms.
Yeah, but I mean, honestly, like, it's not as bad as, like, I think people have this people have this sort of notion that AI images are terrible because they're seeing all this trash go around social media because it's
Right.
entertaining. But in reality, you can actually get some pretty good images out of AI image creation. Um, I've seen some really incredible stuff done. I haven't had a whole lot of time to really dig into that, but I know some people who do and get just like outstanding results.
Nice.
Uh,
So in let's see, you're using primarily ChatGPT, and then you're able to build out these marketing campaigns for IT professionals and other businesses. Um, is it does it take one person inside the organization to be able to run your system, or what does that look like in terms of kind of a daily operations process?
yeah, I mean, I've run my prompt system in a couple of hours. And it just took me a couple hours because I pulled all the data out and made it real pretty in like Excel sheets or Google sheets, and
Yep.
stacked it up and made it into a really nice presentation. I had a client recently, ran it in a weekend, and he was just amazed at how it worked, and really taught him also just how to use ChatGPT.
Yep.
And then he went on to he's been using it for he's been doing grant applications,
Okay.
and he said, "Oh, I really never envisioned that it was going to help me with my grant application." But he's like, "It would have taken me days or weeks to get these done, and now I've gotten them done in like hours."
Yeah.
So
Well, and so then, just in the structure of your prompt writing, is what are the pieces? I mean, you've talked about client avatars and LinkedIn posts. What other pieces to your prompt system are there?
well, it also helps with messaging. So, part of marketing is how do you communicate to someone the transformation they're going to receive from your product or service? And people don't buy products and services; they buy a happily ever after.
Right.
And so in order for the customer to buy whatever you are selling in the first place, they have to be in some sort of unhappy before state or not as happy before state.
Right. They have a
and
need. Yeah.
and in order to buy the product or service, they need to see a vision of what their life is going to be like afterwards.
Right.
Once they buy your product or service, how's that going to change their life? And without clearly understanding how that's going to change their life or being able to have that vision, they're not going to buy. So it helps them, my system of prompts helps them define that transformation. And then it helps them actually build that into messaging that they can use for their business. Uh,
Nice.
It
And
also
then,
helps them uh, define what something has to change in the person's life, or there has to be something, we call it a triggering event. There has to be
mhm,
something that triggers them to say, you know what, I need this. And so my prompt system also helps them define their triggering events, defines the jobs to be done, which jobs to be done is like for Instagram, it would be like, when I take pictures of my family, I want to be able to easily share them with my friends. That would be a jobs to be done for Instagram. So,
right.
what is that for your company? Um, uh, and then, helps it helps them pretty much put in place all of the different marketing foundations that they might need, helps them develop lead magnets. What a lead magnet is essentially a free offer that you can make someone when they might be interested in something that you have. You want them to be able to get a little bit of something from you that can help them solve their problem in exchange for you getting their information so that you can continue to market to that person. So I help, my prompts help them develop a lead magnet, and then
Nice.
also helps them define their entire customer journey. So, you know, customer is essentially on a journey with you from when they very first become aware of who you are, to deciding to engage with you, actually opting in for something, making a first purchase, which may likely not be your core offer, because a lot of us, the mistake we make is we're trying to propose on the first date,
Right.
and we have trouble selling because people just, they don't trust us enough yet. So being able to have what we call an entry point offer,
Yep.
is a small first offer that they can take without a lot of risk. And once they buy that offer, your relationship with them has fundamentally changed. Now they're a customer. Now you're their service provider.
Right.
So, and then you can make the core offer and upsells, ask for testimonials, testimonials, reviews, build case studies, ask for referrals, that kind of thing. So, my system of prompts also helps them to define that whole customer journey.
Wow. Well, it sounds amazing and innovative. And how do people find it? And is it a download? Is it a class? Is it time with you? How's
It's
it delivered?
called, it's called Jumpstart Your Marketing. Um,
Nice.
and they can, they go to zebramarketingsolutions.com. They can schedule a consultation with me there. Um, then I think I've also got zebra.live, with a ZBRA .live/apply now. We'll bring them to the landing page with information about Jumpstart Your Marketing.
Nice. Well, I'm interested to see more of what you come up with in the future for prompt writing, and how it changes as the Gen AI continues to change.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, thanks for your time this morning, Laura, and I appreciate you taking some time, even though you got a major weather event happening.
Oh yeah, we've got the hurricane raging through Houston right now, so.
All right. Any closing thoughts as we head off into the workday?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just such an exciting time to be a business owner right now. And there's so many things that you can do with AI. I've talked here a lot about my prompt system, but there's video tools that can help you take long form videos and chop them into shorts for social media. There's AI graphic design and Canva. There's just so much stuff out there right now. Just, dive in, go, grab a tool and see what it can do. And, if you're trying to get something done, you're trying to produce some images, just start playing with it. I think that's really the key right now. There are a lot of tools out there, and it might be a little overwhelming, but the only way you're gonna figure out what to do with it is, I think, just to start playing around with it and give it a try. So.
All right, I agree 100% with you that people need to take time to test and just play with the tools and start understanding what they're capable of. So I think that's a great recommendation. Thanks again, and I hope you have a great day and stay safe.
Awesome. Thanks,
Okay,
Emanuel.
thank you.
Thanks for listening to Marketing in the Age of AI. Be sure to subscribe wherever you heard this podcast so you never miss a future episode. Your copy of Authentic Marketing in the Age of AI is available at Amazon.com or EmanuelRose.com. You can also connect with Emanuel on LinkedIn. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.